Okay, this is the second page of your 1.4 notes. We did the angle bisector part in class the other day, and so now we're going to start with perpendicular lines. Excuse me, two lines that so perpendicular lines are two lines that intersect at a right angle. We know that right angles are always 90 degrees. So this mark right here on this graph tells me that that is 90 degrees. And because I'm smart, I know that this little opening is 90, this side is 90 degrees, and that side is 90 degrees. The symbol for perpendicular, it looks like an upside down capital T. While we're talking about symbols, parallel lines, those are the lines that never touch. Their symbol looks like that. In the diagram to the right, line L is perpendicular to line M. Let's talk about perpendicular bisectors. A line, segment, or ray, perpendicular, I'm going to write shorthand, to a segment at its midpoint. We know when we see the word midpoint or we see the word bisector, we know that it's talking about cutting something in half. So I have this PQ line here, and those marks on the side tell me that they're the same size. So if Q was 4 inches, P would be 4 inches, okay? So if I have a perpendicular marking, which is this corner square, and it cuts it into half perfectly, then it's a perpendicular bisector. In the diagram to the right, LM, line LM, that's the up and down line, is the perpendicular bisector to PQ. Now we're going to look at a picture that kind of has all the information jammed together, and we're going to do A through F. Write another name for CBF, angle CBF. The easiest way to do that is to trace it. CBF. Well, I can't call it B because there's lots of angle B's. There's an angle B, there's an angle B, so that won't work. So I'm just going to have to trace it backwards. So I can start here and go that way. So another name for it would be angle FBC. Name the sides. That means two lines of EBD. So I'm going to trace it. EBD. Okay? And the sides of the angle, if that wasn't part of that picture, it would look kind of like this if I pulled it out. And we know that the sides are just these parts right here. So the first side is BD, and it's a ray, so I'm going to put the ray symbol over it. The second side is BE, and it's also a ray. So I have to write them in that order, with the B first and the D and the E second. Classify angle ABC. Classify means to tell me whether it's acute, right, or obtuse, or a straight line. So A, B, C, D is that. Well, that looks pretty much like a straight line to me. Give an example of an obtuse angle. So I need to look at this picture and find a big fat angle. So I would like this one. It's pretty big and fat. So let's name it. Its name would be angle EBC. Name two congruent angles. That means that the angles have to have those marks on them that tell me they're congruent. So I I see marks, I see the arch or the rainbow right here, and I see it right here. That tells me that those angles are congruent. So, oops, sorry. So this angle, angle EBA, is congruent to angle EBF. All right, and the last thing that we're going to do together says name a perpendicular bisector. Well, when I see the word perpendicular, I always think right angle. When I think right angle, I always think of the square in the corner. So here's our square in the corner. And the two lines that it's touching this purple line right here, and it's touching this red line. So that's what's making up that perpendicular bisector. So now which line is bisecting and cutting a line in half? Well, the way I know that is this line and this line, can't really see that very well, have these markings on them to tell me they're the same size. So that line that purple line got cut in half, which means the perpendicular bisector is ray BD. I would like for you to do the ones in example 4. You should be able to name the vertex. Well, I don't know what just happened. Name the vertex, that's the point of the angle. Like if we have an angle, that's our vertex right there. Name the sides, that's the same kind of thing we did in B. Another name for angle 3. So how I know the 3 is right here. And so the angle for 3 is what's about to chomp it down. So right that's the angle the 3 is inside of. So I'm going to call it UTZ. You may call it ZTU if you prefer. Okay, you're going to do the same thing we just did for angle 1. For E, F, G, and H, you have some choices: acute, obtuse, right, and straight. You will use those words, one in each blank. Name 2 perpendicular lines. Those are the lines that are going to form the little square in the corner. And name an angle bisector, just like we did above. So I need you to finish example 4. When you're done, I need you to get out your vocabulary. On the second page of your vocabulary, today we did perpendicular, perpendicular bisector, parallel lines is already written in for you, and angles. So you may either pause this and write the words and the examples in, or when you get to class, I have a baggie for you that has all the definitions in them. After you get these done, flip over to the next page. On this page, there's a whole bunch of them. Anything that's done: vertex, right angle, acute angle, obtuse angle, congruent angles, and then also angle bisector. So we need all these definitions done, and when you're done with that, I need you to do IXL. It's actually in the 5th grade. It is Z5 and Z6. All right, thank you.